Okay, so let's continue on, and the next one. And by the way, a bonus one could just be octaves. By the way, you can always make riffs out of the octave shapes. But anyway, the next one would be butter. Oh, and I should explain why I call this. So I call this one bread because it's just like very basic. You know, the root fifth. Like sometimes people think of that as like a power chord or power chord tonality, and it can have the reputation of just being very basic, like beginnerish, almost too rudimentary. But you know, sometimes the most fundamental things are really powerful. So, like if I combine that with the bass line, I mean, it's a very powerful tonality, even though it's sort of, in a sense, bare bones. But you know, it's very wholesome and filling, and like bread. You know, it's just who doesn't love a good piece of bread? So that's what came to mind for me. Now the next one I call butter because it's like very rich. It's almost like, especially with the lower one, it's almost like too rich. You don't want to just have, you know, no one wants just a meal of butter. It's just too much, right? Which sounds even more rich when it's lower. But even here, if you were to just play a blues like that, it's almost like too much by itself. So with this one, you can combine it, you know. So you'll end up combining different notes, but you want to think of these as like a starting point, you know. So I can start on that butter riff, and then maybe go to the fifth. Yeah. So let's just go over where those are. So we have this one, and then we'll get into the inversions later. But yeah. So let me just tune while I'm explaining to you. There we go. All right. So we go to our next position, and we do have this like inversion here. I guess maybe we'll show some of them. Here's a third position. Fourth position, again, this could share this position and this one. This is a really useful one here, by the way. So again, this is our G shape, and then last but not least, this one is again shared with this position. Okay, so that's the butter riff, or the butter tonality. Okay, so let's keep going. So let's see, root fifth, root third, root seventh. So yeah, this next one I call wine. It's the root in seventh. I've heard Jimi Hendrix use this almost like an intro, like to Stone Free or something like that. So it's kind of cool. You skip over a string. So this is the third fret on the low E string and the D string. And remember, we always want to go back to that dominant chord because there's a lot of tension in that seventh note. it's weird. Like sometimes the seventh can be used like as a resolution. Like if you were on the 1. It kind of resolves to the 7th. Go before you go to the next chord. But it can also be like a tension thing. Okay, so you get it up here also. It's up an octave. This is a very common harmony when you go from the 7th, 6th, 5th. So 7th back to just your regular dominant 7th chord. Okay, that's in this position. Next position, also notice like when you have this, like root, 3rd, 7th, that's a very common voicing. That's kind of part of this whine thing. I guess I call it whine because it's kind of has a little bit of an intoxicated feeling to it. Let's see. Okay, up here. So you can resolve back with single notes too. Anyway, back to this. This one is 5th position. It's the octave of the first one we started with.